Hey everybody, Mike Chavez here once again. Welcome back to my channel. It's cold outside, y'all. Wind's blowing. It's in the 30s out there. It's time for some chili. Alright. So today I'm going to throw some chili together. This is going to be some dinner chili, I'm going to call it. So this is kind of my own invention. I'm going to have a hamburger in it, some kielbasa, tomatoes, chili peppers or chili powders, and different spices. So y'all stand by. This is going to be pretty good. I'm going to actually put beans in this chili. Mama likes beans. I mean, I like beans in chili every once in a while. Nothing wrong with beans in chili. So y'all check it out. Let's do it. All right, y'all. This is what's going to be in my chili today. So I got a little over a pound of ground beef. This is some 80-20 ground beef. Got some all beef smoked sausage kielbasa. Okay, that's going to be the protein. Let's move that out of the way. For the spices, got some ancho chili, some ground ancho chili powder, some regular McCormick chili powder, some McCormick dark chili powder. Got some cumin. These are whole seed. I'm going to chop these seed up. All right. Got about 3 cloves of garlic, an onion, some beef broth, some diced red tomatoes, some tomato paste, some beans. Here's 2 cans of pinto beans, a can of red kidney beans, and we got some Mexican beer, some Dos Equis, and of course can't forget some, this is Mexican oregano in here actually. So let's get this party started, shall we? Alright y'all, so before I start my chili, I'm going to get everything cut up. So what I got, this onion, I cut the bottom off, leave the root end on, cut that in half, get the skin off. Now this is a really simple way to chop onion. I just wanted to show you this real quick. I don't usually show y'all me cutting veggies up, but this is really simple. So what I do, you take this half, cut it in quarters, then cut it down. Don't cut through that root. Flip it the other way. Get that skin off. Flip it the other way. Cut down. Cut down. Then just slice it. There we go. You got any bigger chunks you don't like, just cut those a little bit. There you go, really easy. Alright, so let me show you how I do my garlic too. So we got a little stem end, I like to cut that off. And you get that peel, get that stem end, cut the stem end off. Then to peel the garlic, give it a little smash. No peel left on that one. Little smash. Then grab that, kind of pop that peel right off. Look at that. So get that peel out of there. A little smash. Get rid of the peel. Then just give it a little chop. Chop it up. Alright, one ingredient I forgot to mention is bell pepper. I'm going to put bell pepper in this onion, so let me show you how I do my bell pepper real quick. Cut it in half. Get rid of the stem section with all the seeds. Bell pepper's pretty easy to cut up. Get them seeds out of there. I like to get rid of the little veins there. So, cut it in strips. Turn it this way. Chop it up. So now I'm going to get my spices ready. So I got my whole cumino or cumin seed. Now you can roast these if you want. Roasting them brings more flavor out, but I'm going to skip that step today. So I'm going to use probably a good teaspoon of cumin seed. So one easy way to do this, you could do this in a spice grinder. which is actually pretty easy. But the way I learned back in Texas years ago, you just take the cumin, the seed, get you a good knife. See if you can see that. Chop it up. Now these are going to go everywhere, so you can really smell it. So I'll take my standard chili powder. We'll go good tablespoon and a half of that, maybe a little more. Okay, that's got all the chili flavors in it with some onion and whatnot. So this has got what? Let's see, chili pepper, other spices, onion, salt, and garlic. So we'll take about the dark chili powder. This is chili pepper, spices, salt. Take about a tablespoon of the dark chili powder. Put it on there. Now, the ancho chilies. Now this is straight up ground ancho peppers, okay? Which is dried poblanos, basically. So I'm gonna take a good amount of this. A good tablespoon, maybe a little more. Put it on there. So, got the green pepper, onion, garlic, spices ready to go. So let's set this to the side. Now, let's get the meat. Like I said, what I'm going to do, now you don't have to put this in your chili, you can just use straight hamburger meat. A lot of times I like to cut up a chuck roast. If I'm doing Texas style chili, I'll cut a chuck roast up. But I'm doing hamburger today, so I'm gonna add some all beef kielbasa. And this is basically just for some extra flavor, some extra little different texture. So you see I cut it long ways, cut it in quarters. I'm gonna dice this up, small pieces. So you want this fairly small. All right. So I'd say that's about a quarter pound of kielbasa. All right, so I got my cast iron pot out, my chili pot, chili/gumbo pot. I love this pot. This right here is a Lodge enamel cast iron pot. I got this at Walmart a couple years ago. See, that's Lodge, and it was fairly inexpensive. I mean, these cast iron Dutch ovens, they're called also, they can get right expensive. But I'm thinking I only paid like 40 bucks for this. I know some of those fancy ones, man, they want like over $100 for them, but this one's worked really, really good. So, got the heat on. Let's let this heat up. All right then, this pot is heated up. I'm gonna put a little squirt of olive oil just to get it started. Put the hamburger down in there. There we go. Bust it up. And we'll get our kielbasa in there, right with the hamburger. All right, y'all. This is browned up pretty nice. Got most of the fat rendered out of the burger and the sausage. Actually, there's not a whole lot of fat in the bottom, so I decided I'm gonna leave it in. Fat is flavor. So let's get the onions in. Get the onions in. Get the bell pepper in. right. Let's cook that some, cook it up. So I'm just going to want these onions to get a little translucent. See how they're nice and bright white? I want them to get dull. Those are translucent, nice and dull. All right, y'all. See, these onions are getting cooked now. They're not as bright white as they were. So, now let's get this garlic in. So we just want this garlic to cook for a couple minutes to release its flavor. Turn this heat down to a tad bit, about medium. See, we're getting them nice cracklings in the bottom of the pan there. The fond, as they call it. All right, this should be good for the garlic now. What you want to do, put your spices in. So I got my regular McCormick chili powder. I got my dark chili powder, my ancho chili powder, and my cumin, my cumino. So put that down in there. So you want these spices to cook a bit. All right, wake them up. Ooh, the fragrance comes out of there right away. So you don't want these cooked too long. You don't want to burn it. Just a couple minutes. Just wake them spices up. Wake that chili powder up. That cumin. Wake it up. Now, I'll put the oregano in. Reason I left the oregano out, what I like to do, about a teaspoon of oregano. I always like to wake the oregano up. Give it a grind in your hand. Now, let's make a little space in the bottom. Take our tomato paste. Put about a tablespoon or so tomato paste in the bottom, maybe a little more. That should do it. So you want this tomato paste to caramelize a little bit. All right, so let's leave that in the bottom there for a minute. Let it cook a tad bit. All right, stir it in. Now we'll deglaze the pot with the Mexican beer. So let's pour some of this Mexican beer in there. Give it a scrape. All we're doing is deglazing it, getting the stuff up off the bottom. So scrape that bottom. Get all that stuff scraped on up. A little more beer. All that stuff in the bottom is flavor. Scrape it up. Now something we haven't put in here yet. Let's go ahead and put a little salt. Go about Good teaspoon, teaspoon and a half of salt. That's kosher salt. And some freshly ground black pepper. About a half a teaspoon or so. Get that mixed in. Alright. So now we'll dump in, I took and drained most of the liquid out of this can of tomatoes. This is a 1 pound can. Put it on in. We'll work those tomatoes on in there. I like my chili thick, but Mama don't care for it real thick. So, we'll thin this out with our beef broth. So I got some beef bone broth. We'll pour a bunch of that in there. Just kind of cover it. I don't measure too well, y'all, so I don't know. It's probably about 2 cups. So we'll go with that for right now. All right, y'all, we got this up to a nice simmer. You don't want this to boil. Just a nice simmer. All right, so we're gonna leave this uncovered. We're gonna let it cook about 30 minutes. We'll come back, take a look at it, see if we need to add any more liquid, and then we'll put the beans in. All right, y'all, it's been cooking about 30 minutes. Give it a little stir. See it thickened up a bunch. I want these tomatoes to break down some too. And give them a little help. All right, so beans. Taken the beans and drained them. So pinto beans and red beans. Turn the heat up a little bit, give them a stir. Mama likes lots of beans in her chili. I don't mind them. So, a little thick. Put a little more of this beef bone broth in there. Turn the heat up. All right, tell you what. Let's taste this for seasoning. See if we need any salt. Nope, I'll tell you what we do need though. A little more of the ancho chili pepper. So we'll call this our second dump. Put another teaspoon ancho in there. Put a little more of the chili seasoning in there. Give it a stir. All right, y'all, this has come back up to a nice simmer. Give it a stir. Turn the heat down. What I'm going to do with this now, take the lid, leave it cracked, just like that. So just make sure this heat's way down. Don't want to scorch the chili. So we're going to let that cook for another 45 minutes to an hour. Then this chili will be ready. We'll check it to see if we need to thin it out any or what we want to do with it. All right, y'all, it's been in here about an hour. So this is ready to go. Tomatoes are broke down. It's got nice and tender. Flavors have had a chance to mellow out, get good, so let's get some in a bowl. And we will check this out. Here we go. Looking good. All right, y'all, there we go. Nice bowl of red. Homemade chili, some dinner chili. So we took some kielbasa, some hamburger meat, took our chili powders, our cumino, onions, garlic, tomatoes. Made us up a nice bowl of chili. So, only one thing left for this chili. Y'all ready? I know you want a bite of that. Yawsa. Taste. Oh yeah. Now the way I like to eat chili, had to try it just by itself, but take you a handful of Fritos, drop you some Fritos down in there, take you some shredded cheese down in there, mix her up a little bit. That's known as a Frito pie. Get you a nice spoonful of that. Frito pie. Y'all ready? Taste. Mmm. Absolutely. That's some good chili right there. Now you could throw some hot sauce in here or something if you want to spice it up. But that's good. So y'all need to try this out. I ain't kidding, this is really good. So, thank y'all for stopping by. Thank y'all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. And as always, if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe. Thanks everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.